Let's start with a question that's simple but confusing. Can a set include itself? This is what the Russell paradox is about. How can something contain itself without making a mess in logic?
Well, Michelle, if we think of a library with all books, including its own catalog as a book, aren't we close? But when a set includes itself, it's like the library's book starts listing itself, making a never-ending loop.
Guy, it sounds interesting but tricky. Sets are not like books. When a set tries to include itself, it challenges how we think of order and logic, making a problem where everything falls apart. Doesn't this mean we need to change how we think?
But isn't the problem what makes it interesting, Ryan? What if these puzzles show the limits of our logic, not the sets? By looking at these contradictions, we might find new ways in logic.
Sonia, improving logic is dangerous if it means allowing contradictions. Builders need a solid ground. Every system needs a steady base, and paradoxes like this shake it. The Russell paradox should help us fix our theories, not just make them more interesting.
Guy, that's a strong view, but wouldn't going beyond what we know help us learn more? When we say why a set can't include itself, aren't we testing the limits of logic?
Yes, Michelle. Testing limits can lead to new ideas. Remember, Gödel showed us system limits. The Russell paradox is more than confusing. It invites us to grow our logical thinking.
Exactly, Ryan, which makes me ask, are we looking at this problem too narrowly? What if our ideas of sets need to change to understand these paradoxes better?
Or maybe we need simplicity, not a big change. Not every paradox shows a broken system. Some just need clearer rules, a bit of fixing on our ideas, instead of fully changing how we think about logic.
But Guy, isn't exploring about accepting change, even if it's big? What if these paradoxes are leading us to new logic, one that can handle self-reference well?
And who's to say this new logic won't help us understand other hard problems where patterns repeat?
So is the Russell paradox not just about sets, but about rethinking how we solve problems? The Russell paradox might mean more than just a math problem. Is it showing us limits in how we think? Are these contradictions showing us problems in how we see the world?
That's an interesting thought, Michelle. If the paradox is like a mirror, it might be about our understanding limits, not just logic. We could be like explorers finding new things, and some ideas are too hard to understand.
Guy, I agree, but maybe these are chances to look beyond. What if the Russell paradox wants us to change how we think about knowledge? Maybe it challenges us to redefine truth and logic limits.
Yes, Ryan, this paradox might show that some truths are hard to find. It teaches us to accept uncertainty as part of life, not fear it. It might be telling us to face complexity, not avoid it.
But Sonia, boundaries matter too. Not every paradox asks us to ignore rules. Sometimes we just need to think more clearly. We should adjust our views, not throw away everything.
But isn't philosophy about testing those boundaries and seeing what is beyond what we know now? If we only adjust inside limits, we might miss big changes. The best changes often come when our logic doesn't work.
By pushing boundaries, we might find new ideas that help with other life problems. This isn't just about logic, it's also about human experiences and seeing the world differently.
So, are these paradoxes more than logic problems? Are they making us think differently about life, existence, and how we think?
Michelle, maybe they remind us to balance, keep the value of our understanding, while also questioning and growing when we find contradictions.
Right? Finding that balance is important. Maybe the real paradox is trying to find clear answers in a world that might not want them.
Maybe this is where philosophy shines between knowing for sure and not knowing, between order and chaos. The Russell paradox might not be a problem to solve, but a journey to start.
How has Russell's paradox changed computer science? Does it impact how we build systems and work with data?
Michelle, it is important. These paradoxes show us that not every question is simple, especially in computers. We need to make sure our systems stay strong even when faced with contradictions.
Agree, Guy. It makes us rethink databases, how fast algorithms are, and software setups. We must make sure systems do not crash when they meet self-referential questions.
It's not just avoiding crashes. We need to design systems that can change and grow. If a system finds a logical mistake, it can learn and get better from it.
But Sonia, is it safe to let systems change on their own without clear rules? We need clear logic and rules, especially with important data. Humans can be unpredictable, our systems should not be.
But exploring adaptability could be useful. If we limit logic too much, we might miss new ways to handle paradoxes better.
Maybe technology needs both stability and flexibility. How do we balance structured systems and adaptable logic without creating new problems?
That's it, Michelle. By understanding paradoxes, we design systems that handle surprises. We shouldn't fear complexity, but use it to make our methods better.
I agree with careful innovation. Making systems face paradoxes shouldn't lead to chaos. It's about being creative within limits. This could mean making new rules for self-referential situations without losing control.
Let's not forget the benefits of paradox-tolerant systems. They could change fields like AI, where incomplete data and uncertainties are normal. Starting with paradox acceptance might be what we need.
Ryan, that's an exciting idea. By solving these puzzles, maybe we aren't just advancing technology, but learning more about how humans think.
Is Russell's paradox pushing us to make smarter, paradox-ready systems that reflect both logic and human adaptability?
Maybe, Michelle. It's about knowing when to draw lines and when to bend them. As we face paradoxes like Russell's, the goal might be to learn from them, not just stop them.
So, is our real challenge finding out how much human unpredictability should be part of systems? This is both technological and philosophical.
Maybe by embracing paradoxes, we see that the line between human thought and logical systems is thinner than we thought. It's pure, innovative thinking, a real look at Russell's paradox today.
History is full of puzzles that have interested us for ages. Why is Russell's paradox so special?
Michelle, it is special because it shook the base of set theory, the language of modern math. Think of it like a riddle that questions the rules while you play. Many puzzles interest us, but this one questions our definitions from the start.
Guy has a point, but isn't it bigger than that? People in history loved paradoxes because they made them think differently. Like Zeno's paradoxes made philosophers rethink motion, Russell's challenges how we define things. It invites new ideas.
That's right, Ryan. Don't paradoxes appeal to us because they show us contradictions in understanding the universe? When reality and logic don't match, we want to know more. It bothers us like an itch we have to scratch.
But aren't paradoxes also warnings? They are interesting, yes, but going too deep can make us lose clarity. In history, societies that didn't fix paradoxes often made mistakes. Russell's paradox warns us about possible problems in logic.
True, Guy. But think about old thinkers like Heraclitus, who liked contradictions. They didn't see them as problems, but as ways to find truth. Maybe we don't fully understand what paradoxes can really give us.
So, while some saw them as problems to solve, others saw them as chances to grow. Could Russell's paradox be telling us to think in two ways at once?
Think about it. Paradoxes made people see new philosophical ideas. Maybe Russell's paradox tells us that truth isn't always clear. It can change, showing how complex human thought is.
But Sonia, shouldn't we be careful in our search for answers? Too much double thinking can cause confusion and harm trust in known facts.
Or maybe we don't like uncertainty, so we look for sure answers. Paradoxes like Russell's might show that learning starts where we are confused.
Ryan, maybe they make us see knowledge as always changing. It's not just about logic, it's a way to see life, helping us deal with complex truths.
It seems paradoxes are more than just puzzles. They push us to grow and rethink logic and more. As we solve them, do they show something deep about human nature? Russell's paradox is more than math. Can it change how we see reality, beyond just numbers?
Michelle, that's the interesting part. It shows reality might not fit in our logical boxes. It's like hoping a puzzle piece fits everywhere, but it doesn't fit without changes.
Yes, Guy. This twist shows a gap between math and human experience. We have to face the difference between how things are and how we see them. Our basic understanding gets tested.
That challenge is what intrigues us, Ryan. Aren't puzzles like these pushing us to question not just math, but how we see reality? It's like peeling an onion. What's at the center when assumptions fall apart?
But Sonia, if we unravel too much, don't we risk getting lost? The center might be nothing. We need some certainty to build on. Not every paradox should ruin our logical base.
But isn't seeking, even with risk, what discovery is about? Maybe these paradoxes show us a new kind of certainty, one that changes and grows.
So instead of removing the paradox, should we blend logic with the unpredictable side of reality?
Exactly. This blending gives us more ways to understand existence. It helps us see ambiguity as a chance to grow, not a problem to solve.
I'm for embracing complexity, but we must see which ambiguities help us. Too much can cause confusion instead of clarity.
But in confusion, some of our best ideas are born. History is full of breakthroughs from exploring the unknown.
By challenging our logic with paradoxes, we not only expand math, but change how we see reality, turning resilience into art.
Maybe Russell's paradox isn't about finding answers only within what we know, but about creating a new way where logic and human insight work together creatively. Could the Russell paradox change how we see progress beyond just changing logical theories?
Michelle, it might be. The paradox questions logic itself. It's like asking if we are just getting confused instead of making strong progress.
But Guy, sometimes we need to break things down to make them better. Russell's paradox makes us think and create new ways of understanding complexity.
Yes, Ryan, by solving puzzles, we learn more about logic and ourselves. Progress is about the journey, not just the answers.
But Sonia, isn't there a risk if we take on too much? Could this harm our basic understanding?
Maybe, but if we don't test the rules, are we really progressing or just staying safe? Real growth often means facing the unknown, like with Russell's paradox.
So Guy, is true progress finding a balance, bending but not breaking? Maybe the paradox helps us mix logic and flexibility.
Exactly. We need ideas that adapt like human thinking. The paradox is a chance to see how much we understand.
We can push limits, but remember, strong foundations are important. Paradoxes like Russell's make sure we take care of our roots as we learn more.
Maybe progress is not about solving paradoxes, but in the questions they make us ask, leading us to new ideas and discoveries.